Hello everyone, it's Peter. Welcome you back. We will continue with this employee services. Now, this class is very important related to industry. It's called testing and code coverage. For testing part, we already have lots of experience of unit testing. Okay, what is unit testing? Is only test one class with those methods. So it's only focused on this class. But in this project, I already create a mapper. The mapper is one class, right? So it's independent with any other classes. So it's to the order method. That's why I already create this unit test. This is a purely unit test. I don't want to go to details of unit test. You already have those knowledge. And then I built a different branch called feature branch of test. So our master branch, in last class, we already finished all the development of the employee services. Those master branches are already good enough. Maybe not perfect, so still we may need to control some special cases, but that's very detailed, so I don't want to cover that part. Now let's go to the testing part. So I create a different branch, test, and then you can use the pull request to send a pull request from this feature branch to the master branch, and then you can see the difference of the testing framework, all the testings related to the original code. Now this is unit test. It's pretty simple. I just with some data and then get some different branches and make it work. This is unit test. Now next, I want to test services. In the DAO. In the DAO is all interfaces. Interfaces. We already have the test in the JPA. Okay, we already have the test like this test in the JPA. Okay, so we can copy the test. So that's only test for DAO. Now, next, let's talk about the employee services. I want to test this one. How to test it? This is a class, but if we do the normal unit test, there's a dependency of EMP DAO, employee DAO, right? So when we run the unit test, employee DAO will be, what is this? It could be null, or even if there's some value of employee DAO, then what's the method? What does the method return? You cannot have any control. So what we do is we want to make it as a mock DAO, Mockito. So then we use a technology called Mockito, Mockito to do the mock test. Now I want to show the example of the mock test. Before I go into the mock test, I want to talk about code coverage. What is code coverage? There's a tool called the Sonar Cube. The Sonar Cube will analyze your code and to check what's the code coverage of your of the whole project. Usually in my previous project, we want to make the code coverage greater than or equal to 80%. 80% is a good standard. So how to run the code coverage? I will show it to you. And then if you go to the if you install Docker, then you can do the same thing. But if you don't install Docker, it doesn't matter. I just show something to you for the code coverage. Okay, for the Docker part, I click here. So there's this icon. I click it. So you can see this is the image. It's a Sonar Cube. I already installed the Sonar Cube as my Docker image. Yeah. Now, if you install Docker desktop, you can run this command to install the Sonar Cube. It's to install Sonar Cube. This just use Docker image. So what's the Docker image? I can call Docker image. I can list all my Docker images. I already have lots of Docker images in my system. Now, for this one, I can use MVN clean test Sonar column Sonar. Use this command to make the Sonar to analyze my test. Okay, let's run it. Usually we use MVN clean build. Sorry, MVN clean install to build the whole project. Okay, it's success. And analysis successful, you can browse. You copy this URL and go to your. Okay, this is the interface. This is UI for Sonar Cube. The Sonar Cube, you can see the code coverage is 0. Why? The reason is we in our system we don't enforce the Sonar, so that's nothing inside. There's duplication of 4.9%. That's I have some duplicate code. Okay, then code smell. Smell will tell you, okay, some code add a private constructor to hide the implicit public one, and there's some suggestions. So there are lots of technical depth for the is from the Sonar Cube. So sometimes we already finished the development of a project. Everything looks good, and we already have testing, but still we want to go through the Sonar Cube to see, is there any way to improve our code? Is there any potential bugs in our code or potential warnings of our code? The all Sonar Cube will give you this picture. For example, like this one, employee mapper is all public static method. They want you to add a private instructor, a private constructor to hide the implicit build one. So what I do is in the mapper. So mapper is all the public static method. I don't want any constructors. Use new keyword to create this one. So I add a private constructor mapper to block any constructions of the class. Okay, then I can fix this issue. I can fix this issue, and there's one duplicate block must be removed. Okay, they just replace this lambda with a method reference. All these things is the same suggestions. Okay. Now let's come back to the overview. Why code coverage is 0? Actually, I already have some code coverage with the mappings, right? With the mappings. So how about that? So then we need to go to the our POM. In the POM, last time we thought about this for Sonar Cube code coverage, this one. I need to copy the whole plugin in my system, this plugin. Then go to my POM. In the plugin here, let's see, not in the profile, in the building, in the plugin, I add another plugin. So for Sonar Cube, maybe this cube, you can use this cube. Okay, I think I'm not sure what's the word. Maybe C, maybe Q. Okay, just save it. Okay, what's wrong with? Let me check what's wrong with the error. Oh, maybe I need miss something. Okay. Let's go to this one. After that, not profiles. This is the Let me check another project with the POM. I think I missed something in the POM. Okay. Duplicate. Mm. Let me copy all of this. Yeah, this time it's working. I don't know the reason, so this just package some small things may be changed. So yeah, I just change it. Okay, let's go ahead. Now let's run this again. Let's run this Sonar again. This time you should see some coverage. Okay. Now you copy this one and run it again. Okay, you can see the coverage is 36.7. Okay, you will see this one, and then you click this one. You can see for each class there are all the classes in the code. So you will see which one is covered, which one is not. Okay. So this coverage, this one response, this models, mappers response is 100%, and the employee is 87.5%. Entity is this percent, and this request is nothing here, and the wrapper, nothing. Then service implementation, nothing. So controller, nothing. Config, nothing. App, nothing, right? So this should be implemented. And for employee, so it will show, okay, this toString method is not implemented. Okay. Now, employee entity. Okay. This get ID, set ID, yes, in our code, we never use set ID and get ID, so it's not implemented. So this gives you a picture of the code coverage, so you know which line of code you never covered. Okay. So this is very important. This is very important. So to make the high quality of the code, you need to try to cover as many lines as possible. So it gives you code coverage. So if you go to the overview, the code coverage is 36.7%, and we know we have some important classes not covered. So there are 29 lines of in employee service info and 20 lines in the employee controller. So we are trying to cover the two things. And there's no wrapper here. Now let's go ahead with our code. Now to do the mock test, we need to add one dependency here, which is let's see, Mockito for unit 5. So we add this test in our POM. Okay, so this is JUnit 5. We add another dependency here. Is unit 5 for Mockito for unit 5. Because we all use unit 5. If you use unit 4 with Mockito, then you don't need this dependency. But if you use unit 5, you need this dependency. Okay, now let's come back to I already created the package. Let's new class employee service test. Okay. Employee service test. To do this test, we need to add this extend with at this line. Now here we have two objects. One is employee DAO. One is employee services. Service info. I have to use service info. I cannot use interface because I want to inject in this object. Let's say service. Okay. This is DAO. Now for this DAO, I can use annotation called mock. So this is a mock bin. And for the service, I use inject mocks. So the two things is this is our target service info. This is our target class we want to test. And this is dependency. Dependency we use mock in annotation. The target class we use at inject mocks. Then based on the two annotation, this mocked employee DAO will be injected into this service. Okay. Now let's make a test. So the first one is search by name. Okay. Now test search by name. Okay. Now if we check the code, you can see the first line is emp.find by name, right? Find name. We want to mock this method. We want to mock this method. So using Mockito, the code is like this: Mockito.mock when. Okay, let's say when emp.find by name. We can give a specific name. Say if I want to find by Alice or something else, that's fine. And there's a better way is using the Mockito.any string. I can use any string. Okay, whatever it is a string. Then after that, then return an object. The object is an entity, right? Employee entity. So I can build an entity. I have a code in the mapper. I can build the employee entity here like this. I can borrow the code from this one. So then return. I will build employee entity. Okay. So this is to mock the EMT DAO. Then after that, we can have the employee response. Okay. Then response is equal to service DAO search by name with. You can say Alice with the same name in our build entity one, or you can use any string like Bob. Doesn't matter, because no matter what kind of string is input, it will always return this entity, and this entity will be mapped to the response. So we can use assertion star assert equals say Alice response dot get name. Okay, and we can simplify the code at this one. Okay, then I have another one is salary. Salary is in the string format, which is this one, 35412.00. This is get salary. And after that, I can use Mockito.verify. Verify means that I really call the emp.dot method. Maybe I can call many times or one time. One time I just say verify emp.dot find by name. Then Mockito.anyString. So basically, I can also use static as a Mockito. This one say like this. I can use a static with dot star to save those Mockito dot signs. We can say when directly, but if you this first time, I still strongly suggest you to use Mockito dot something, so that you know where is the function come from. Okay. Now I finish this one, search by name. Okay, then it works. Now let's move on. The next one is search by salary. Okay. This is here. Search by salary. I want to do this. That's mapper. I can close this one. This test. Now the second one. Test. Search by salary. Add this search. Now let's see what's inside. So it will have find by salary with minimum value and maximum value. Okay. So then the same thing is Mockito.when emp.dot find by salary. Because it's int, I can use Mockito.anyInt. Okay. This is also Mockito.anyInt. So then return. Then return something. So let's say it could be null. It's the first one, or it could be some value inside. So we need to create an employee entity. So from this mapper test, I can I also create this entity. That's fine. So then return null. First I return null. That's the first case. Then I get the employee wrapper, right? My result is employee wrapper equals to emp.dot emp service dot search by salary. The minimum salary we can write anything. The max salary also anything. Okay, that's a wrapper. Now I can assert equals not equals, assert false. Wrapper dot is successful is false because this search doesn't return anything. Then assert equals, that's message. The message is no record found. Okay. Wrapper dot get a message. Okay, that's the first case. Then the second case is I want to return a collection. Collection has only one element. I can use this one. Like array dot, we can use as list, this one. Then I build employee entity. Okay. So this is a list of employee entities. I use array dot as list. I only contain one entity. Then I run this one. Here I can use now because I want to test the if condition here. There's a if condition in the if this is null, then it's minimum value. If this is null, this is maximum value. I want to check the two conditions. So I will also go through the two lines. So then I put two nulls here. And then I call the wrapper again. Okay. Search, not this wrapper. Then I assert true for this one, and I assert null for wrapper.getMessage because there's no message for this one. Assert equals to 1 about wrapper.getEmployees, right? Dot size. I only have one result back. Now next, if I want to verify Mockito dot verify, that's a different thing than emp dot then Mockito dot times. Because I two tests, here is times 2. By default it's times 1, only you call it once, right? So then you have find by salary Mockito dot any string, any int. Okay. Then let's make a test. Okay. Then this is a full test of search by salary. So here we learned the verify, we have times 2. This verify is optional. You may or may not add this verify, but I just introduced some different cases. So if you call it once, we just say verify, that's it. If you call it multiple times, you can verify how many times you called. So this is also a test. Okay, this is the second case. The third case, let's go to the input. So we have save and update and delete. They all get response. So this is very simple. Now from the test, let's create an employee. This is employee. Let's build the employee. Now next let's make a test of the save. Test, I think is save, right? Save is we have an employee, then save entity. So this save entity doesn't return anything. How to do that? Okay. Now we can say Mockito dot do nothing. Let's talk about this save. This save. Oh, this save still returns employee entity, right? So this is the employee entity with this save, and this update also this update salary. This is int. Okay, int is the how many lines is updated, and this one delete is void. Delete is void. Okay. Delete is void. Now I will do this. Okay. Let's see. For save, because it returns employee entity. Now it's not do nothing. Okay. Dot when employee dot save. Save you can say Mockito dot any employee entity dot class. So this any is any. If you save any employee class, then return. You can return now because we don't check the return value of the save method. Okay. Now you can see response. response is is service dot save. Save employee. I can build employee. You can build any kind of employee, and then this is I response. Let's see. It should be this response. That true response dot is successful. Okay. Now I say Mockito dot verify. Emp dot save. Okay. This one. This save. Okay, this is save. Okay, now next is update. Update. So for update, this update salary by name. So there's a name, there's the increased salary, right? So it should be something. So I need to create this request. Let me private. Let's see. Build request. This request dot set name is you can set any name. Request dot set increase salary, say 1000. Then return request. Now in the update, here is update salary by name. So I will say Mockito.when emp dot it's inside dot increase what's the method? Update salary by name. The update salary by name Mockito dot any string as a name. Salary is Mockito dot any int. Then return just return 1. Right? This is return int. Now then response go to service dot update. So build request. Now this is true. Then verify. Mockito dot verify. Emp dot this dot update is here. So let's test this guy. Okay, then it works. And finally, let's test delete. That's a different story. Test delete. Okay, delete by name. Okay. Now, first delete has 2 steps. And the first is to find the name, find some entity. If entity is not null, then delete this entity, right? Then delete this entity. So we have 2 steps. So first is find by name. I can use the first one. Find by name, then return build entity. That's the first step. Then the second step is Mockito dot do nothing. There's a do nothing dot when emp dot delete dot any entity. delete. Let's see. So there are lots of parentheses. Let's say delete any this one, then delete. Is that this guy? Yeah. When delete this thing. Okay. Okay. Now response is service dot delete any name. Okay. Now assert true. Then Mockito dot verify emp dot delete. Just copy. Okay. Then this delete will work. Okay. And then if the first one doesn't return anything, return null, so there's another case that if it's equal to null, it could find by name returns null. Then we also need to test this case. If I add this condition, return null. In this case, it won't call delete. So this is also we can run this again, but this verify we won't say times 2 because it's only times 1, right? It's only once, because if it's written now, it won't call delete. And then let's run this again. So it should also work. So sometimes verify is also good to verify how many times you call this method. Okay. Now that's the whole test. Let's run the whole test. So actually, I covered pretty much about the Mockito, but in the real project, there are lots of tricky things about mock test. This is just give you an example, and there are a big job for mock test. Maybe it takes 1 month, 2 months job for a big project with the mock test. They need to cover all the cases. Now, after this test, mock test, I can run this Sonar Cube again. And see, then the test is much more than before. Okay. Then let's run the Sonar Cube again. So the code coverage is 74.2, is much increased. Right? So if you go here, then you can see these are all at 100%. Right? So increase is 87.5%. Yeah, so there's no toString. That's fine. So employee is also toString is missing. And then the entity, the KIT set ID is missing. Then the only thing we didn't test is the controller part and the APP part. Okay. So next class we will cover the integration test and the mock MVC test for the integration. So let's see this. We covered the mock test using Mockito, and still we also have Mockito in mock integration test with mock MVC. And this mock MVC is in this one we don't need to add any new dependencies, and we use mock MVC to do the integration test, and we have the real integration test for real data. So we have two things for the next class. Okay, thank you.